Hi everyone, so I am going to read you a little extract from a lovely book called October, and I feel like the month is perfect to read this book because we are in the month of October and it's by an author called Katya Balen. So here's a little excerpt. We live in the woods and we are wild. Our house sits in the woods and it's made from the trees that frame it. They've been chopped and planned and smoothed into the house, and so it's not the same as looking at the twisted reaches of the branches, but I like to be inside the woods. It feels like a secret because we are hidden away and forgotten about in the best way, even though people know we're here. We have to go into the village every year, or so, and buy the food we can't grow or the clothes we can't make, which is nearly all clothes except for socks, and those aren't very good when you try it. Dad can turn a ball of wool into a foot shape with a click-clack of needles and a half an eye on the stove, but I can't manage more than a tangle. We get all the things we need for another year and slip back into the woods while the village forgets about us again. The house was built by Dad before I was born. I wasn't born here though, because at the very last minute, the woman who was my mother said, "No way," and she was whisked off to the hospital and she was pushed down corridors that were white and bright and treeless and blank and like nothing she remembered. But then she did remember. She remembered all the things like microwaves and internet and heating that happen at the push of a button and not from the roar of a stove that makes your clothes smell smoky and sweet. She remembered, and when she had her baby wrapped in a white blanket that matched the walls and the sheets and the pillows, she said to Dad that she couldn't go back. She did for a bit, but she was floating off into the world that fringes ours, and when I was 4, she was gone. In my head, I think I remember the day she left, but the memory is like trying to hold water in my cupped hands, and it trickles away before my eyes. There are wisps of a woman holding onto my hand, and I feel my whole body being pulled along by the side of another person running, and my legs can't keep up. There's crying, and I know that I let out a shriek so loud it pierced the sky and the birds scattered. I wouldn't let her leave with me. I wouldn't leave the woods. When I try and remember her now, it's like she's been sliced out of memory, and all that's left is a black person-shaped shadow where she should be. Or sometimes she's there, but then her edges fuzz and curl into smoke and nothing's left. I hate her for leaving the wild, and I hate her for leaving us, and I hate her for leaving our perfect little pocket world. She writes all the time, but I don't ever read the letters. I don't know why Dad even bothers collecting them from the wooden letterbox at the very edge of the truck that leads out into the whole wide world. She's the only person who ever posts us anything. Once Dad opened one of the letters and laid it out on the kitchen table for me to read, but I scrunched up the paper into a scribbled ball and watched it turn into ash in the fire and the inky words fade into embers. When I was 5, she came to the woods, and I hid up a tree and didn't come down until it was night, even when Dad climbed up to try and coax me out. She did it again when I was 7, and then again when I was 9, and every time I scrambled into the safety of branches. Dad says she's not too far away, and I should see her and see where she lives and talk to her and be her daughter again. But I stop scavenging and climb up to the top of the tree whenever he talks about her, and he doesn't do it so much now. Everything is far away from here, and that's exactly how I want it to stay.